You're a do-it-all filmmaker. This video series will help you understand if you should take a idea from the ideation stage to the actual scripting stage. And from there, you'll be able to know whether or not you have a film that could possibly be something that you should actually shoot. So here we have a blank page, and what we're trying to do is the goal is to, one, create a storyline, and then two, a log line. So typically a storyline is anywhere between 2 to maybe 4 sentences. The way we want to do this is through some structure, so we can completely navigate through the entire story as much as we can through those sentences, and so that when someone is actually seeing the title and reading the storyline, they may want to click on it and actually view the whole movie. But this is a way that you as a filmmaker can actually tell if you should go into the scripting stage when you create these storylines and these log lines. In my assessment, if you create a log line and you cannot create a trailer, a full-length trailer from that log line, then you should not venture forward into actually writing the film. Maybe perhaps there's not enough there to actually create a story. This is the framework that I use, that I actually created to help me understand if a film idea is really viable, if a film idea is really something that I should use my time to not only script write, but produce and direct. So here's the framework. We should start with setting the stage and describing the protagonist. And I typically do this, so let me start here. All right, so let's place on our page storyline. All right, so I typically start my storylines with the character's name, because I want the reader to immediately understand who the story is about and give this person a name and a reference that they can understand going forward into some of the other things that we're going to share. So let's just call this person, the name is all of this stuff is interchangeable. You can change it at any time. So I'm just going to call this character Ava. So what we want to do with Ava is define a key characteristic about her that would explain, one, what the movie could be about based on her background, or two, if her name is synonymous with anything that we should pay attention to throughout the movie. Because I've seen some movies that actually do that. They draw on the name to create an extra story that you would have to really think about in order to really get. But let's stick with this. Let's stick with Ava and give her a key characteristic. So, does she work? Is Ava in school? Is Ava young, old? So let's handle that right now. So let's say Ava, a young clinical, let's say, I'm going to say clinical scientist. So scientist. The job could be anything. Again, we're just trying to create a world, and we're trying to create a character out of nothing. So Ava, a young clinical scientist. In the framework, we've set the stage and described the protagonist. Now we need to create a setting that we can put the character in, that we see and understand before the inciting event happens. So let me break that down. So the inciting event is the thing that the movie is about. So in your storyline and also the log line, you want to clearly represent what that inciting event could be for the viewer. Now, obviously, you're going to have different twists and turns and plot twists that could help the viewer with being a lot more entertained than just going into one journey. You know, that's why you have films that have, you know, multiple different journeys. You know, you have a journey A, journey B, journey C, and then they all, at the end of the movie, they come parallel to each other. But for the storyline, which is just creating the essence of the movie, we want to make sure that the protagonist is set up to an obstacle in the inciting event. So here's what I typically do. We need to put her in a scenario that she's doing something. So is Ava walking? Is she driving? Is she at home? Is she at work? Is she taking care of kids? Is she on a plane? Is she on a train? We need to put her in a scenario for something to actually happen. So let's do this. Let's say Ava, a young clinical scientist, driving. I'm going to say she's driving down the interstate. Ava, a young clinical scientist, driving down the interstate. And trust me, this is just the nature of writing, saying it over and over and over. All right, so the next stage in the framework is we need to create the state of mind or the state of being of this character that we've built here so far. And so you typically do that by describing their emotional or psychological or physical state. And I really love to lean more towards the psychological. Like that's my thing. I love psychological thrillers, and that's what I tend to write. So for this, we're going to create an emotional state, but we're also going to create something that's there's a mystery behind it, some way to describe what they're feeling. So just some examples: is Ava indifferent? Is Ava desperate? Is Ava focused? Is Ava defeated? Is Ava nervous? Is Ava grumpy? Is Ava grieving? So we need to figure these things out in order for the inciting event to happen. In this case, now that I'm running through a lot of these things that she could be, I'm going to say, since she's driving down the interstate, it would be interesting to say, let's do comma, is paralyzed, but not in the sense of physical paralyzed, in the sense of mentally paralyzed. So she gets paralyzed. She gets paralyzed because of something that's about to occur mentally. So that's important. So let's read this. Ava, a young clinical scientist driving down the interstate, is paralyzed. Now, this is where we really can start to have some fun and put a swing on things. So now this is the inciting event. We need to really clearly state here, what disrupts Ava's world, and we need to set her in motion to do things to either change as a character or either change the world around her. Let's finalize this and jump into more details in the next video.